mes amis.
Hi, friend.
Hi. That's hi, friend. Since you might not know in French. So today our video is about numbers.
Yep.
Meaning numbers.
Yep.
And this is why, friends, because we get a lot of questions surrounding numbers. Some of the questions are, how much do you eat? What are your macros? How much weight do you lift? How many times a week do you work out? How often, how many days a month do you have a cheat day? How long do you work out? So it's always about numbers. I also got a question the other day about how many inches total I've lost since the beginning of my journey. We don't know any of that because we don't, not only do we not track our macros, we don't track any number. Reason being, for our brains, tracking numbers sets you up for failure. When I track anything, inches, time I work out, all of that stuff, obviously we know we have one cheat day a week. But other than that, number-wise, if I were to track that stuff, I would obsess over it. There is a video out talking about how I had an eating disorder most of my life. And I am recovered from that. But you'll always be dealing with that kind of stuff for the rest of your life. So to worry about tracking would just make me unhealthy. And Kyle works the same way. Anything around numbers, it sets us up for failure. So we prefer to listen to our bodies and look in the mirror for that kind of stuff. We eat when we're hungry. We eat to fuel our muscles, and through trial and error, we've figured that out.
And we've been on that yo-yo up and down with weight and dieting, and the reason we know that obsessing about numbers doesn't work is because we used to do it. We used to be on the scale hourly. We used to be wanting to get to a specific body fat percentage, a specific weight, lift a certain amount. And we have a sneaking suspicion that if you're an emotional eater like we were, that obsessing with numbers is not going to help you very much. And if it was about the number, everyone would have already figured it out because it's on the internet for free. Yeah,
you can go get your macro number from a calculator online. You can look up how many calories should you eat in a day for your size. But really, in reality, like Kyle said, if a number mattered, everybody would have it figured out.
Don't you think that people would have figured out that you can Google for free your macro number and then all your problems are fixed, right?
But the thing is we're emotional eaters. So we understand that, and from our experience, the majority of, tracking with numbers of anything, it doesn't work. It does set you up for failure. We've heard tons of people say, well, we need to track our calories or else we'll binge. Have you ever thought that maybe because you tell yourself you have to track the calories, that it might set you up? You might be rebelling against that. So my suggestion and our suggestion is, if you find yourself often concerned about numbers, why don't you try not doing one thing surrounding numbers. Maybe, track one day going without tracking your calories, just going with how you feel and, eating what you think would fill you up and go from there.
Another one is that really helped us is weigh yourself once a week instead of 10 times a day.
Yes. And don't worry. Kyle and I don't lift heavy in the gym. Sure, every week we progress because we work out consistently, and you do get stronger as you work out consistently. Do we care about lifting heavy weights? No, because we want to build muscle.
And it's more proper to learn how to squeeze,
Yes.
contract, and stretch your muscle than it is to lift weight, to lift a heavy weight. If you're concerned with building muscle, if you're concerned with strength, we're getting into a whole nother ballgame.
Yes, exactly. But for us, we don't really lift a specific amount. We just go with how we feel. Some days we lift heavier, other days we lift lighter.
And if we're completely honest, we're training to look better.
Yeah. We're training to look better. So you don't really need heavy weight for that. Like Kyle said, sorry, I interrupted you. You need to learn how to squeeze your muscle.
Yeah.
Not really worry about how heavy your weight is.
So basically, like overall, why we wanted to make this video is because we know we struggled for so many years, and we realized one of the major problems was we were getting obsessed with numbers.
Yes.
Just in anything to do with weight loss or fitness, it was about numbers for us, and we realized it was setting us back. It wasn't helping us at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have the same problems and you're finding that you're struggling, falling off the wagon, getting back on, and going up and down in your weight all the time, and you're not happy with things, maybe you're getting too obsessed with the numbers.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that say, okay, I lost this much weight. I want to get to this specific number. Let's say 150 pounds. And you're 15 pounds away. By setting that number up, there are many people that I know from experience have set a goal weight, have a little bit left to go, but keep failing. They keep going off track because they're putting too much expectation. They're putting a restriction, is what I'd like to call it. They're saying you have to get here. You have to lose this amount of weight. But what most people don't realize, and what I learned when I recovered from my eating disorder, is that your body has a set point weight. If you allow yourself, your body will go where it needs to go when it's ready. So forcing yourself to hit a number, it may not be feasible for you to get to that, or you may hit that number and say, hey, I could lose some more. So setting a specific number will set you back. Try just saying, I'm going to go until I feel good in my clothes, until I look good to myself in the mirror.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to add about why we train to look good now and why it's helped us. It may sound vain, but it's actually helped us in our heads, because before I wanted to get down to a low body fat percentage.
Me too.
Now, I got there. And you know what? I looked in the mirror and I didn't like the way I looked. Now I have a higher body fat percentage, but my muscle is much higher.
Mm-hmm. Me too, same thing.
I'm actually filling out my clothes in the right spots, and I'm looking in the mirror and feeling better and looking better, and feeling better about myself. So we realize that there's other stuff in life than numbers. Exactly.
And so the same thing. So if you set an amount of time you need to work out per week, or how many days, if you're saying I have to work out 5 days and you only work out 4, you're going to rebel on yourself. You're going to get angry at yourself or feel guilty. You're basically setting yourself up for guilt and for failure. So say, hey, I'm going to aim to work out as many times as I can this week, and go from there. Don't set any specific number up for yourself. That's our suggestion.
Especially if you have emotional eating.
Yes. And we can say that because we've experienced it, and we've seen it in many, many other people along our journey. So yes, numbers, take your numbers out the window, boys and girls. Numbers suck.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check us on Instagram. If you have any questions, leave them below. And you know about it, don't you? Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay.
Because if you don't, see this? That's my stern face.
Stern.
You're going to get Fist of Doom 1 and 2.
Uh-oh.
Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.